Hello, everyone. How are we doing? If you are one of the ones that are joining us every day, so much. Thank you for being with yourself and learning to experience yourself. Experience yourself, experiencing yourself, experiencing yourself, experiencing yourself. Ad infinitum is a bit like that visual of you looking at a mirror, and then there's a reflection of you looking at the mirror, and reflection of you looking at the mirror. It feels like that super consciousness is all of those cycles of phases coming into being. And one way you could look at that, I don't know about you, but my life causes me my mission on the planet, my being on the planet means a lot of travel. And so I don't always know where my things are. I am often looking to where I left things, and I have this visual. For me, this is how it helps me, is that when I'm super conscious, I know where everything is. So it's a bit like that. It's like never feeling out of sorts, or never feeling, and perhaps never is it's too much of a bigger word for living in our density right now, but it feels like that. It feels like being so aware of all that is happening, and the cause and effect of that. And I know it's not easy to be in that sensory perception for all of our day, all of our waking hour. I feel that we're more ready to do that in our sleep time. If we're training our being, if we're training ourselves to be with our being, and therefore we are holding our frequency, our own personal sequence frequency, then it's easier to do it when you're sleeping. However, we are having a human experience, and if we can bring more of that awareness, like this story that I told you about not knowing where things are. Well, imagining that now we can see those things and we know where those things are, then we also know what's coming towards us. We start to be so perceptive of people's intentions, for example, and we might not sign a contract with someone because we see it coming. You call it intuition, you can call it supersensory perception. And then it gets better, it gets better because we are finding ourselves not needing to make decisions that will create more discomfort or disharmony. It brings us into this everything, like the whole world comes in front of us. And even if we can't have the visual of, knowing where everything is, we know that we're in the center of this 360-degree vision. But it's, the 360-degree vision now is not only at a meridian, for example. It's in all. If the vision was a sphere, or sensory was a sphere, then it's not only going 360 degrees, but it's going in all directions as well. So I don't know what equation that is, but I think you understand my point, that the moment we can be with the being, and I promise you, the being knows everything. The being that you are knows all things, knows all that is playing out, if there is any difficult friction with someone, if you will rise above and see the reason why it's playing out. And it's not always easy because it involves someone else's free will, but you yourself, with yourself, know the way forward because you see it. So it is about vision, it is about clarity, deeper understanding of your your path on planet Earth, and you influencing life as well as life influencing you. So perhaps you could say that we are so trained and entrained to see authority outside and then becoming. Therefore, you are the authority. You are the authority for your life, for yours, for your choices, for your responsibilities. You become the authority. So before I ask a friend, or before I feel pressured by the media or by the collective unconscious, I can now be with myself and feel into the sovereignty. Sovereignty is such, I feel, a word that has been used too much, so I'm gonna use authority. So being in the authority of the self, the frequency sequence, which is a sacred geometry, which is you, and that sacred geometry equation meets you with yourself. And when we are becoming more aware of the self, then all things are seen. It doesn't mean that we are stopping from having a human experience, because we've chosen to be humans. We've chosen to be here and to have the experiences that we're having. So it's not about that. It's about seeing with a clear vision where it's all playing out, and in a way being ahead of time. So not being bound by time. So you could say that being super conscious is being outside of time. I hope that this is helpful. If you have any questions, if you don't quite get what I'm saying, then please ask me questions. I'm very happy to respond. So when we are in our 3 minutes, we're being, hello, Susan, thank you. Ahead of time, yes, thank you. We are ahead of time. I feel that somehow we're bending, we can bend time. This is the feeling I have. It's like it becomes so soft and malleable. We are so used to time being, having an agenda and having the dates and times and when I have to be at a certain time. Like, I know I have a commitment to be 10 minutes before online, so I'm watching the time, but that time feels like a structure that I'm abiding by because I choose to. But the other level of that is that all of a sudden it becomes less rigidity. Rigidity disappears, and it becomes somewhat malleable. Yeah, let me know your perception on that. I appreciate your comments immensely. So we can take the 3 minutes to any level. We have 1 minute left, so we could just be peaceful with the self. We can start perceiving the fullness of the self, and then if we reach that point and if it feels good, connect with each other in this field of consciousness, because we're building a sacred geometry, which is the group. And then beyond that, beyond that and beyond that and beyond that. There is a lot of information, intelligence, wisdom available. So all is known, all is available, and you could call it manifestation. I call it creation. So thank you for being here. Thank you all. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Ilar, for being on the live with me. Thank you for your commitment. So much love. See you tomorrow.